Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I realised I have not done a how to build on AM Melee, and AM Melee has been out for 2 years now, quite a while. And of course, with the the Demon King being out and demons being as broken as normal, and maybe let's say a new player starts playing the game, you guys, you may not have Purgatory Melee, you might not have Traitor Melee, but AM Melee. AM Melee is not too bad, especially if you have his relic. His relic makes him very broken. I currently don't have it because, well, I have Purgatory Melee, I have Traitor Melee, I've got all these other characters, it's all good. But I thought I'd do how to build for him. Because he isn't a bad character, especially in Ungeared, and especially if you've got his Relic as well, he can actually be very terrifying, and I've lost countless games to AM Melee Relic because it's very powerful, especially if you go first with it as well. Firstly, onto his substats, let's make sure he's got a correct gear set on. I have 2 gear sets for Melee. I made a video why I have 2 gear sets for some characters. Go check that out if you want to know why. But yeah, he's got decent CC. This is perfect attack rate down, by the way. 60k isn't too bad. Only got free-to-play outfits. Don't have any bought weapons. Don't have any of that kind of stuff. Don't have the relic as well. 60k isn't bad. Crit chance is a little bit on the low side. But that's okay. Crit defense. Pardon me. Oh god. It's very high. His crit defense is like insane for the time. Like 108% is like it's like Fest Merlin level like crit defense, and that came out of the time where like crit based characters like the one Escanor, and that was like the one Escanor Green Go the Death Pierce Goddess Lismel, which was known as like Glue. It was Glue Eater, right? But yeah, like he could get crit a lot, but he could tank them very well. He's also got a lot of lifesteal, decent pierce rate. Resistance is on the low side, same with crit chance, crit damage also on the very low side. Bear in mind he's currently running attack crit dam. Am I correct? Attack crit dam? Yeah, attack crit dam. So that is very low, especially for SA6. That's very low crit damage, but that's okay. There's a Rupture card as well, which is it's kind of nice, especially when you're versing goddesses. AMLE, of course, being the counter for Liz at the time, because Liz was, shield, you got Rupture, Rupture immediately breaks the shield, which was lovely. And especially, with the odd person running Mael here and there, it's still very nice to have just about to get that insta-break on the shield, so you're able to immediately start damaging Liz. Because even some cards just struggle to break Liz's shield, because Liz's shield is very busted. On to his second card. So his second card is Amplify, which in my opinion is one of the strongest card types in the game. Mainly because it's based on how many buffs you have, and you can stack a lot of buffs on characters, especially on demons. You've got commandments. You can use Troll's commandment especially to stack it. He gives himself buffs. His relic gives him buffs. All that kind of stuff. You can keep stacking them up. Onto his ultimate. So his ultimate once again gives him buffs and inflicts gives him all basic stats by 50%. So it's attack, defense, and HP by 50%, which is a lot for 3 turns, and inflicts damage equal to 455%. Of course, that is 4/6 at 6/6 being 525. You're probably wondering, oh, that ultimate multiplier isn't that high. Yes, but it's AoE and it gives him 50% basic stats, which is a lot. Especially that's 3 separate buffs for an amplified character. That's a lot because maybe the ult doesn't kill. Let's just say the ult doesn't kill. You use Rupture. You break Liz shield, you then trigger the res on Liz, and you use the amplified to just vaporize her, because that's what you can do. Onto his passive, which is if all allies in battle are demons or those with commandments. So that is of course Droll, Glocks, all those ones that don't fit the demon category but are still commandment. Increase own stats by 5% and decrease defense-related stats of all enemies by 15% for 3 turns, when allies, of course, take damage from attacks during the enemy's turn. So, of course, counters don't trigger this, but, let's say 2 turns, right? They attack you in total 6 times, you get 5 all-stat buffs. These are not just, what is this own stats? It's worded very wrong. This is the old, wording where, the old development team was sort of working on it. It should be increase all stats. All stats by 5%, not own stats, all stats by 5%. And it's only his stats, of course. But lowering the defense-related stats by 15% up to 5 times, which is 75% defense-related stats, it's kind of insane, especially with you mix it the fact that gives him, 25% crit chance. It puts him at, still very low crit chance, but not too bad, where he's still usable. Crit damage puts him at, mediocre, which is, just over 220%, which is, well, Demon King has that standard, but it's not too bad. Of course, that these are all stats as lifesteal, pierce rate, resistance, even more crit defense. He becomes a literal tank, especially if you mix that with Amplify. You know, he may have really low crit chance, but if the enemy's losing 75% of their crit defense, it doesn't matter. You're going to be hitting crits because no character, unless of course it's Mael or the one the ultimate one, is probably the only two you would really struggle with. Onto his gear set. So AM melee, of course, if you're running him in ungeared, you don't really need to worry about gear sets. But if you're running him in geared, there, of course, you've got two different things. You can go for attack crit dam or HP defense. AM melee, and I'm going to say this about a lot of the melees, but I think trait melee really needs attack crit dam. But Perg melee and AM melee, in my opinion, which are of course I'm going to talk about festival melees, are they can use either attack or damage HP defense. It depends on what it depends on what you want. If you want, high CC and you don't really mind your melee hitting not as hard, go HP defense. But if you want it to be like a main DPS, let's say you don't have Perg melee, you don't have AM, you don't have Perg melee, you don't have Traitor melee, you can run attack crit dam, use him as like a DPS, and you've got Demon King, and then whoever Esterosa or Chandler, or some sort of bait or a protector to keep Demon King or AM melee alive. AM melee has a lot of lifesteal, which makes him terrifying. He has the ability to like 1v4 a whole team because of the amount of stats and his passive and everything. And if you mix that, especially with his relic as well, it becomes even more broken. Of course, you can see here, these are all the free ones. This is the one I think we got for New Year's. You've got this one, which is normal, like the hero suit one. You've then got these two, which is his default ones. I'd love this one, man. It looks so cool. I love the knighthood outfits. I wish they were more accessible to people. Weapons, of course, only got this one, which every melee has. It's a free one. Headgears, this is like an affinity one. And then, of course, another event one. And his Holy Relic, which gives him actually not too bad CC. You're getting at least like 500. Mix that with, like, you've got a good gear set on. I would say you're looking between like 500 for like no set to like 800 if you've got a good set, maybe even 1,000. What does the Relic actually do? Bear in mind the Relic actually looks really sick as well. So the Relic increases the hero's basic stats by 30% for 2 turns at the start of the battle. So what this means is, if the hero doesn't take damage during the enemy's turn, applies the same effect at the start of the ally's turn. So, at the start of battle, let's just say you go first, you out-CC your opponent, you immediately start with 3 buffs, which is good for melee because melee requires buffs to deal damage, and the fact he immediately starts with 3 buffs, an attack, a defense, and a HP buff, it's very useful. For a little bit of turn 1 damage, of course, he won't be able to crit because, well, it's melee, and melee doesn't really have the highest crit chance, but it's still not too bad. And this part of his passive is also pretty good as well, especially, if there's, let's say for some reason your opponent is running a team of full single targets, because, it's a pretty rare thing to find. If the hero doesn't take damage during the enemy's turn, applies the same effect at the start of their turn, at the start of your turn again. So, you can constantly keep farming this for as much as you want. And then, this is the secondary effect. Increase demon allies' basic stats by 5% for every buff applied to this hero. So what that means is, you're constantly, if they play 3 attack skills, you've immediately got it. If they don't hit your melee once, you still get it. What could also happen is, if they're running a full single target team and they're constantly attacking Demon King, let's say Demon King's tanking like 5 hits, right? You're going to have 8 buffs. You're going to have 5 all-stat buffs, and 3 of the basic stat buffs, which is of course the attack, defense, and HP buff, and then 5 with the all-stat buffs. He's going to have a lot of buffs, plus they're also going to have a lot of debuffs, and you're probably going to be able to one-shot at least one person. I do think that, this relic is good. Do I think it's worth making over other relics? No. I would say probably stick with the newer characters, because his base, if he got an LR version, it'd be a whole different story, right? But because his substats are so bad, yes, he gets 25% more, but he was designed back in the day when they thought about passives, like stat increases from passives, as more of a part of the character's final passive. What I mean by that is, I can just show you. Where is she? She's level 95, I'm pretty sure. Here, AM Melee, of course, came out different on JP and Global, so of course. As you can see, she has horrible stats, but she gives herself 30% all stats. So that would put her on equal of where Levi is in terms of substats, which is why I was looking at it when I talk about the AOT video, is that designing characters has completely changed, and we've noticed that, with LR Lost Vein, with Demon King, with Perg Melee, your immediate stats should be good, and your passive should make you even better. Not your passive makes up for the substat you're missing and adds you a little bit more. It shouldn't be like that. It should be you start good, and you're able to continue being good. But overall, Melee isn't a bad character. The ability to be able to change, HP defense to attack crit damage is pretty good. Of course, if you're running attack crit damage, you're not going to be making the most out of it because, well, he doesn't have the highest crit chance and he doesn't have the highest crit damage as well. This is with perfect attack crit damage, and he's still at 196. Yes, you could say, oh, I don't have all the weapons, I don't have this, I don't have that, but it doesn't give you any crit damage. They only give you crit chance. So, yeah, you could increase your crit chance by, 9%, but actually, 9% wouldn't be too bad, but you still wouldn't be creating that hard, especially when a lot of the new meta characters have really high crit defense, and low crit damage, high crit defense. You're looking at not very much, especially tier, his link, all of that kind of stuff increases crit defense. Because what I've realized is that they're not trying to make really broken characters with immediately broken stats. And of course, that's the LR. But they're trying to give them completely busted passives. Tier is probably the best example. Tier and Demon King are the two best examples for characters that have good substats, but then even more broken passives. It's literally off the charts. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.